Dead End Hip Hop album review, Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon 3, The Chosen. Before we get into the review, make sure you guys like this video and also subscribe and leave a comment, engage in the community. And if you enjoy what we're doing, you can become a patron at patreon.com/deadendhiphop. So Kid Cudi is a rapper from way back, the internet era is what I like to call it, when we had the Drakes, the Cudis,
Charles Hamilton,
all those guys. Yeah.
What was that dude's name? God damn it.
Mickey Fax.
Mickey Fax.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's one of the ones that made it out, and he's been around for quite a while now, from doing albums to doing movies. So he's definitely expanded his range in terms of being an entertainer. So this is the third installment of his Man on the Moon series. Feefo normally start these off, don't he?
He does, but I mean, we here.
You're Feefo today, so.
I don't want to be Feefo today.
Killing 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah, BB, your thoughts on this, man?
I couldn't tell if this was a Kid Cudi album or a Travis Scott album, pretty much for the most part. The landscape of this, the soundscape of this album, it sounded like a Travis Scott album to me. I didn't get the original Kid Cudi vibe that from the first Man of the Moon and the Kid Named Cudi mixtape. And then maybe it's just coming from me just really not really caring for Kid Cudi since the original Man on the Moon albums. I just never really cared for his stuff. I know we reviewed, I think, In the Cut a while back. We haven't reviewed nothing since then, but I guess listening to this album just made me realize I'm just not really a Cudi fan. I do understand his appeal though, because I do understand and I appreciate that he always talks about like mental health issues and all that type of stuff. And I like the song he had that ode to his mother, which was pretty cool.
Which one was that?
LC Baby Boy.
That's the one. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool song. What's that? Solo Dolo 3, where he was kind of talking about his mental, his, I guess, being alone and everything, him dealing with that depression and everything. So I appreciate that about Kid Cudi as an artist. Like, he's always been a vulnerable artist. And I understand that appeal. He's one of those artists, even though I don't like him, I don't really care for his music. I understand his appeal. I understand why people, gravitate to him and like him so much. But yeah, sonically, I just didn't care for this album, man. Every time I would listen to it, it ended up draining out and just being background music.
That's interesting, man. You said a lot of things that went through my mind listening to this. Like, you touched like damn near just not everything, but like a lot of stuff that I was thinking, like the Travis Scott point. And just to touch on that part, what you were talking about, it's weird because Cudi was before Travis Scott.
Right. And
it's like, I never even put that together until I listened to this particular album. I don't know if it was just because this particular album, because I hadn't listened to Cudi like that. I just kind of listened to some of the ones he dropped. But that was one of the thoughts I had, is like, I don't know if he still has that spark anymore that he once had, the way that a I know most of you guys don't really like Travis Scott, but I do like some of Travis Scott stuff. I feel like he has more of a spark than Kid Cudi at this point. And he honestly took it and did it better, and is not doing it better, but he's doing it better than Cudi is currently doing it. Not saying that Travis Scott is better than a Man on the Moon 1 and 2, but I just think that what Travis Scott is doing, he's a lot more confident in it than Kid Cudi is. It's almost like Kid Cudi is forcing a style that he pretty much created. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not, I don't know, it's just not connecting the same way it used to.
Yeah.
When I first listened to it, my first thoughts is like, man, this is a snooze fest. But listening back to Man on the Moon 2, I could see how one could think that about those as well. But I don't know, it's just something about Cudi's confidence back then that made it different for me. It was his confidence, like, because I went back and listened to him. I'm like, damn, what is this? Is this really different from what he was doing? And it is. I think the thing that's different is, I think the beats were a little bit better, the concepts were a little bit better, and his confidence was better. You know what I'm saying? It just, when he was doing those melodies, it was new, it was refreshing, and it just sounded better to me than this. I felt like I was gonna tear it apart, but I don't even know if I want to tear it apart. Like, it's just that it's not it's not as good as it used to be. Like Solo Dolo, right? Solo Dolo, the first one on Man on the Moon, was really good. You know what I'm saying? And then on Indica, Solo Dolo 2, he had Kendrick featured on it. You know? And I feel like Indica should have been Man on the Moon 3 versus this, honestly, listening back to Indica. Because this feels a little forced to me. It seemed like he just plastered Man on the Moon 3 on it.
Which one was Mr. Solo Dolo?
Yeah,
was that the first one?
That was the first one.
Oh shit!
Solo Dolo.
So, to your point, Rod, the first two were definitely more memorable.
Yeah.
I think the first time I listened to this, I was playing Madden or whatever. I just had the headphones on, and I didn't recognize Solo Dolo 3, like it didn't really register that this was the track. There was nothing that said that to me. I don't like it. I don't like this album. I don't, man. I listened to it a couple of times, and it just didn't do it for me. And I like you, I think I've come to the conclusion that I'm just not a Cudi fan. I don't think I'm a Cudi fan like that. And I thought we've had that discussion here before. And there are some of his work that I do like, but overall he just doesn't quite click or register with me. Reading the Apple description, it said that he was trying to kind of, after the first two albums, kind of get out of being labeled that emo rapper thing, which is why he experimented with different sounds. And he felt like he wanted to come back to, or that he was in a place, or he realized that this is who he is, which is why he did part 3. So it's interesting hearing you say that it didn't feel the same, even though he went back to doing this because he felt the same, and writing the content and talking about his mom and, his issues with depression again, et cetera, et cetera. I do think there are some beats on here that I do like. There are a couple of songs on here I like. I love Void. I love the ending of Void.
See, Void sounded more of a traditional Cudi to me, and it sounded a lot more confident. Like, it's just something about his tone just sounded different on Void. That was familiar. Some of this other stuff didn't just didn't feel familiar.
I like the beat switch on She Knows.
That was cool. You could hear it kind of creeping up to that sped up.
Yeah.
So, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the ending on Void, it felt like it really should have been the last track when he was like, "Thank you for listening." When he was singing that part out towards the end. But I do like how as an artist he intermits his rapping with this little melodic singing, because there are songs where he just, if I remember correctly, just sing throughout the whole song. So I think that's cool. I think, as a listener or as a fan of Cudi, you get that variety from him. He gets to really display his full artistry. It's just song-wise, it's just a little too down for me and depressing.
Yeah, I actually disagree with all three of y'all. What's funny is I had a complete and total brain fart. This was supposed to be on my best albums list. And I had 2 lists on my desktop. One that I updated because I don't have Microsoft Word no more. I'm giving them Ken stories. I don't have Microsoft Word no more. I have to use it on the online version.
Yeah.
And I downloaded the wrong version.
Wow.
The other version had Kid Cudi on there, and I didn't even realize it
That's
until
crazy.
way later. That's why I kept harassing y'all about, are we going to review this or not? Are we going to review this? Because I was going to do it on my channel because I loved this album. I totally disagree with y'all too, especially. I definitely think this gives old school Kid Cudi vibes. I definitely think that this feels like it could have followed Man on the Moon 2. Only thing is, his rap style has been updated a little bit. I like this a little bit more than Indica. I do kind of agree with you. Indica could have been Man on the Moon 3. It could have been.
I don't even remember.
But yeah, man, I thought this was great. Like, when it started off with Tequila Shots, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, because it had that kind of weird, tweaky synth sound. But then when he started doing his Kid Cudi singing, "Can't Stop This Warren Me," and I'm like, okay, all right, I'm digging it. Another Day had that weird auto-tune thing, and I don't listen to Travis Scott. So if that's what Travis Scott does, then cool.
Yeah.
But the little bit I have heard of Travis Scott, I didn't get that feeling with this album. But I'm ignorant to Travis Scott. So y'all could be totally right with that point. So I'm not disputing that.
Okay.
But yeah, then She Knows.
You like the switch on that?
I like the whole song.
Yeah. I mean, I like this whole. I liked it too, but it's just I I did notice that
That
switch.
beat, yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, he started rapping a little different.
That's
too.
sweet.
But
That
you
was
can hear it
nice.
before it comes. Like the producer did really well at changing the tempo of that, and then he caught it.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was really good.
I think that one thing I noticed off the bat was the production on this thing was fucking incredible. Like you can tell he had a team of people that went into a room and composed these songs because everything sounded big, everything sounded extravagant. The only thing that I think was slightly different was Kid Cudi's rapping style is a little bit different. And he did try to play with some newer sounds. I wish I could remember what song it was.
Rockstar Nights.
Yep, that's the one. Thank you. That's the one. I was just like, okay, this is interesting. He's going for a slightly different sound that's more modern, but the first couple listens, I was like, I don't fucking like this at all. That one, I was just like, I don't know. But now when I put it on, it doesn't bother me anymore. The Void, though, that's my shit.
So do you feel like that one is more in line with old Cudi?
Well, I think The Void was more in line. I think Sad People was more in line. Probably Show Out. I think the more I listen to this, the more I see what he was going for.
And see that, and I felt that because that's what with every Cudi project, that's how I am. Like I have to listen to it several times, and I haven't listened to this one as much as I've listened to Cudi over the years. But like I said, you know what? I'm not gonna be too harsh on this because I know how I am with Cudi. I know that later on it'll click and I'll be playing this album like crazy. You know what I'm saying?
This is a fact.
Yeah, and like so that's why I say, you know what? I'm not gonna criticize it too harshly. But yeah, on the first initial listens, man, it just I don't know. It just I could see how you feel like it's aligned with Man on the Moon because it is. It does sound Man on the Moonish, but to me, it sounds forced.
I don't think it sounded forced. I think that Cudi's just in a different spot, and I think I'm feeling the same way that I felt when it came to that M project. It's just like I feel like people were expecting this to sound exactly like Kid Cudi sounded. When did Man on the Moon 2 come out? In
2010,
2008,
2009,
something like that.
2010, yeah.
Yeah, I mean we're in 2021 or 2020 when
Like
this came
10 years
out, so it's
later.
like. Why would we expect Kid Cudi to sound exactly like he sounded 10 years ago? This is an updated version of Cudi, but he's still pulling in those same vibes. If I listen to Man on the Moon 2, because I did listen to it after I've listened to this, especially the production on this sounds more in line with 1 than 2 did.
I can give you that.
The only thing that was different, again, is Kid Cudi's rap style. But
And I agree with
when
that
he
too.
settles into that Kid Cudi kind of weird moan voice that he does, it sounded better on this than it sounded in the past however many years.
So he did it on 2. He did the little rap thing, and that's different from the rap thing now.
Right.
He didn't do it on 1. He didn't do it
Right.
until the last song. So
Well, that's not really true because he did it on the song with Kanye and Common.
oh well, yeah. But see, I always looked at that as that was one that was already out there. She's gonna really
Make him
like,
say, oh,
yeah.
oh, oh.
I still think he was kind of singy songy on that too. Day and Night, I feel like that was singy songy too. I don't think that was just rapping.
Right, but he rapped on 2
Yeah, he rapped on
quite
2.
a bit.
He rapped on 2. That's what I'm saying.
So that's why him rapping on this, I don't really see the issue.
So let's see, comparing it to 1, right? So what I was saying about 1 is that 1 felt more concept, right? I felt more concept on 1. I
Yes.
felt like because the whole Common thing that was in the interludes, it just felt like he was on a journey. It felt like Man on the Moon. It felt like that this dude was traveling somewhere out of space or whatever. I didn't feel that on this.
Did you
so
feel
that's
it on
what
2?
I didn't necessarily, a little bit on 2, not as much as 1, but I did feel it a little bit on 2 because it wasn't as much as 1. Like he, but I just feel like he still was in a good groove on 2.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas this one, it feels disconnected, and I know that's just, I know that's not necessarily his fault. It's just been, like you said, 10 years. So, yeah, that's the disconnection I feel on this. It just doesn't have that theme. It doesn't have that confidence that it doesn't have that confidence. It doesn't have the spark, and it doesn't have that newness that Kid Cudi once had. This sounds like he's trying to recreate something old that I think other people are actually doing better than him now.
Interesting. I never took the whole Man on the Moon thing to be him you know, going into outer space and all that. It just always seemed to me like the whole Man on the Moon concept was just him being alone, like by himself, isolation, loneliness.
Right.
I think he did that with 1. I felt that same concept with 2, where he's talking a lot about mental illness and being by himself and being lonely. And he did it all through this, where like there were multiple songs on here where he's talking about, like, especially Mr. Solo Dolo 3. Like, he's talking about loneliness and isolation throughout the whole damn song. And I think he definitely sounds more confident, because there were songs on here, I wish I could remember exact lines, but there were songs on here where he was talking about, like, you know, I don't want to say they're like battle rap bars, but it was almost on some like, I'm better than you nigga type bars. I mean, I don't know, man. Again, I don't want to hype this up too much, but this was definitely, for me, one of the better albums of last year. I think Kid Cudi made an album. This is the best music he's made easily in 10 years.
I'll give you that.
Easily in 10 years. Well, I mean, so I just don't look at it as forced, because it sounded natural to me. And again, I don't listen to Cudi. I mean, I don't listen to Travis Scott. So maybe when you listen to Travis Scott and then you're going back to Cudi, you're like, well, Travis Scott kind of took Cudi's sound and whatever, and then Cudi's trying to like reclaim that sound. So maybe it comes off weird, but as someone that wasn't paying attention to Travis Scott, this is Cudi's sound.
I get that.
This is Cudi's sound, and Cudi is coming back to say like, yo, I do this shit. And he did it.
Yeah. I think quite a few people have taken his style.
Absolutely. Kanye.
I really did not realize it. I don't know why I didn't realize this, but yeah, a lot of people took that sing-song rap stuff. That's Cudi all day.
Cudi was a trendsetter. Yeah. I did not like the Kid Named Cudi mixtape at all.
I remember you said that.
I didn't get on board until Man on the Moon. And when Man on the Moon clicked, I was like, holy shit, this dude is something special. And then that's why it was just such a disappointment when he started to like move away from that. I was like, I'm not really feeling this direction Cudi's going in. And I thought Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying was a good album. It was genuinely a good album. And I saw him bringing glimpses of old Cudi back. And when he put up that trailer on Twitter, I was like, oh shit, I'm hyped. I'm fucking hyped. Please don't fuck this up, Cudi. And I was expecting to walk in here, and I knew B wouldn't like it. And I knew Ken doesn't really fuck with Cudi, but I was expecting you to like this.
I was too.
I was really expecting, because I was just like, okay, a lot of this sounds like vintage Cudi. And I never got the feeling of it being like fake, phony, or forced. It's just it all sounded real.
As a non-Cudi fan, I do feel like he did go back to his roots.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, from Man on the Moon 1 and 2, and you know how I feel. We've debated Man on the Moon 1, you know, countless number of times. Yeah. So because I felt like he returned to his roots, you know, this is why I realized that I didn't like it. I, you know, have finally admitted that I'm just not a Cudi fan. I think I've said it before, but and that's why this album didn't quite resonate with me. That being said, yeah, I did expect you to like it a bit more, and I was surprised by the forced word. Do you think that it's because of Travis Scott that's make you feel that way, like the comparisons?
No, I don't think it is. I think it's just his past projects. I think like I don't feel any Sky Mike Falls or Intergalactics or Day and Nights. I don't feel any of that on there. All I feel on this one is he went back to a content that he's always created, and a sound that he's always kind of had. It's missing to me. It's missing the concept. It's missing the confidence that Cudi once had.
What's the concept to you?
So I just don't feel the whole like I said, the journey. Like I know it was like this. He had like a parallel thing going on. Like it was like he was traveling to the moon, but it's actually like it was a metaphor, like you said, just kind of isolation and all of that stuff.
But that was gone by 2.
It was gone by 2, but that was, what was it called? What was it called? Mr. Ranger or something like that. I think at
Mr.
that point
Ranger.
He was talking about like some of his vices, like he had something like marijuana.
The Legend of Mr. Ranger.
The Legend of Mr. Ranger. So I guess he was talking about some of his problems or whatever, or something like that. Because I remember he had My Mojo Is So Dope, He had that song with Mary J. He had 2 songs with Mary J. That were dope. It just didn't have that feeling for me on this one, man.
See, this might put in situations where we don't know exactly what the concept was supposed to be.
Possibly, yes.
I don't know what the chosen means exactly, but he was definitely talking about isolation, loneliness, mental health throughout a lot of these songs. So if that's what the concept was, I think he nailed it.
Yeah, one of the things he said, and again, I'm just going by what's in the Apple description, is that he didn't realize how the death of his father impacted him. And when he was working on some songs, he realized, oh, this sounds like Man on the Moon 3, and that's when he made the pivot to this. So possibly, maybe that kind of gives some credence to what you're saying. Like you started out with a couple of songs like, oh, thematically this sounds like Man on the Moon 3 with what I'm writing and saying. Let me start to build and write out songs. Yeah, around that. So so maybe that's the feeling that you get. Like he started in one direction and decided to go in another.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I don't know. Like I agree with Myke as far as like it's this refreshed rapping style that we hear, but I don't think I want that. I just don't think I want that.
You didn't want any of the stuff in the middle, did you? Those 4 albums and mixtapes.
Right.
Well, see, yeah, I didn't. But I don't think you guys like Indica, right? You didn't like it.
I like it now, yeah. I like
yeah.
I don't know that I liked it when we reviewed it.
I don't think y'all liked it when
that's
it
the
was
one with the cold-blooded nigga.
Yeah. See, I love that. I always liked Indica. You know what I'm saying? That sounded like, man, I was always confused why he didn't call it Man on the Moon 3. And see, I think I like that one more than this one. Well, no, I know I like that more than this.
Yeah, I would hope so, because you don't really seem to like this very much.
Well, it's not that, but
so
but
again,
like
Indica.
This is my history with Cudi is I start off not liking it sometimes.
But it's been months.
What this?
Yeah, did this come out like over a month ago?
This came out over a month ago. I didn't know. I'm
just pretty sure this came out over a month ago.
December or November, maybe.
No, this came December 11th.
Yeah, I'm about to say December, November.
Just shy of a month. Yeah, you're right. My time has been real fucked up lately.
I'm like, wait a minute. I know I didn't miss a Man on the Moon 3 project.
Right.
Like, hold on. But so yeah, I listened to it maybe the next week after it came out. I tried it. I gave it a go. I got halfway through it. Couldn't, you know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah, and it wasn't just me.
Well, I expect that from you.
I know, but
halfway
and it wasn't
through?
just me. Like I was in the car with Nay. Nay's a Cudi fan as well. And she was like, "What is this?" I was like, "It's the new Cudi project." She was like, "This don't sound good." I was like, "It doesn't." I was like, I was like, "It doesn't."
Y'all are bugging, man.
And so I gave it another go. And the second go, I was like, I got through it. I was like, man, that was a snooze fest. But you know what? Cudi is a snooze fest sometimes if you just listen to it on the surface. And then the third time I was like, all right, here we go. I think this is a situation where maybe I gotta listen to it a few more times, so I'm not gonna go in here and be harsh on it, you know. But at the same time, I just, you know, I feel like I'm repeating myself at this point. It's just, you know, it's not the same as 1 and 2, and I want it to be, if you're gonna call it Man on the Moon 3.
So when he hit the hums on
Yes.
She Knows This, you still were just like,
Right.
She knows this. Yeah.
Again, it feels like he knows, like,
Oh, God.
Don't do that.
I swear I wasn't trying to
Don't
do
do
that.
that.
Hey,
It felt like I'm gonna get it out.
can't get
Fuck
rid of
it.
FIFO, can we?
God,
Ghost
you
of
can't.
FIFO here.
You know, I'm a dad at the end of the day, so you know, dad jokes are in me and better than me. But I feel like he knew that you know that would pull it out heartstrings, because that's you know that's what we like him for. You know, that just loose, carefree humming. But see, it didn't feel as authentic as it's felt in the past to me.
Oh, you're being a little harsh on
I may be.
Cudi, because you're like, oh, I think he knew that would pull on our heartstrings. Versus, he just felt like doing what Cudi does.
You think he felt like doing that?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
It's not like. Did you listen to Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying?
Yeah, I listened.
Did you like it?
No, I didn't like anything in between here. I mean, I like a couple.
You didn't like any of Passion, Pain, Demon Slaying?
No,
None
that's
of
what I'm
it?
saying. I might have liked a few things off of it, but it wasn't enough for me to return to it.
So did you see the glimpses back?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So clearly,
That felt more authentic than this.
You're a hater, man.
I love Cudi. So I love Cudi, bro.
Because look, clearly, I know you didn't listen to it, and I know you probably didn't either. But on Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying, there were multiple songs where I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
okay, that sounds like a vintage Cudi. So what Ken just said with that whole, he was writing and he started to realize, okay, this sounds like older Cudi. that makes me think that it's not forced because he was already doing glimpses of that on the last album. So then he gets into this album and he's writing and he's like, you know what? This is really sounded like that vintage Cudi. I think I'm gonna do the whole album like this.
Kids See Ghosts sounded more vintage Cudi.
Oh hell no. No.
He was doing the Holmes.
No. Dude, you're stupid. I wish I thought of that.
There's no opportunity.
It was right there.
No, that was good though.
It was right there. No, I felt it on Kids See Ghosts. I mean, I don't know. I felt that because he was doing that on Kids. From what I remember, because I haven't returned to that one in a while.
Did you like Pop Smoke on here?
I did not at first.
Okay.
I did not at first at all. But again, it was one of them things where it's like, I listened to it so much. I was like, all right, okay. Now Skepta.
Nah, he
Skepta
came on
came
there,
in that
bro.
motherfucker.
Yeah,
I forget
Skepta
what
was done.
he's something out the coat. We got guns as big as Kevin Hart. Don't think it's a joke.
Don't think it's a joke.
Skepta fucking
Skepta,
spazzed on
he
that
did.
shit.
He did. I can actually understand him.
Yeah,
He didn't have
didn't-
much of an accent like that.
Yeah. It wasn't as thick and as deep.
you still heard it, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
It wasn't like that.
I think I like Dive on here too.
Hopefully it clicks at some point. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
No,
But hopefully it
That's what
clicks
Man
at
on
some
the Moon
point.
Yeah,
one
I
did
think
for
it's
me.
gonna do the same thing. I have a feeling because I don't hate it. It's just that I just wanted it to be a little different. But that's just an initial feeling right now. I may love this thing like you in the next 2-3 weeks. It's real talk. That's just my history with Cudi.
But I have the same exact history. This is the first Cudi project that clicked
immediately.
off first listen. You ain't got no favorite track.
He does.
I got a few. Just a few. The Void. And you know what? I'm gonna go Show Out because I do like Skepta on there, and I think I like The Dive, so I'm gonna just name that one too.
Show Out, Mr. Solo Dolo. She knows this,
Yeah.
and I guess that's it. Yeah.
I like Lord I Know, the Void, Solo Dolo 3, Show Out, and let me go with Damaged.
Favorite tracks, man. I'm gonna go with Tequila Shots. She Knows This, Solo Dolo 3, The Void, and For the Kids.
Cudi, if you're watching, look, I realize that you have a lot of fans and you appeal to a lot of people, and I appreciate the content that you put out, the things that you write about, your vulnerability, all of that. While I do give you a chance in terms of your music, I do listen to the stuff you put out. It's been 10 years, and I just, over the time, have realized that, a lot of it just don't connect with me. There are songs that I like here and there, but as a whole, it doesn't really resonate with me that much. But, I always give you the opportunity, and who knows, maybe at some point there will be something that will connect. But nevertheless, this one didn't. But again, I appreciate what you do, what you write about, and like I said, your vulnerability and honesty.
Echo can't thoughts exactly. Actually, it's just I appreciate what you bring to the table in this hip hop culture that's needed, that's always needed. But it just, for me, it just doesn't resonate at all. I just like I said, I just know I'm just not a fan of your music per se. So I mean, hopefully, wish you always much success, and hope you get through any issues, or even if you're just doing this to help someone else get through their issues. I think that's dope as hell, but it just doesn't click with me.
Cudi, if you are watching this, please do not take my criticisms harshly. I know you do not know me, but this is the history that I have with you. I literally played Man on the Moon 1 probably 20 times before I actually liked it, and that's no exaggeration. And that may be the situation with this one. And I think it may be the situation with this one is because I fell out of being a fan for some time, and I think I may have to just readjust the same way I had to adjust the first time. So I think that's the realization that I'm coming to during this review, hearing that Myke likes it, because because I don't know, it just started to make me realize that, okay, maybe it really is one of those situations where I got to go back and listen to it several times and just kind of get back used to the type of music you create. I appreciate you, going back to the roots of a Man in the Moon feeling. I know I said I felt like it was forced. Maybe it's not. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you truly felt like doing this based on what Ken was saying in the description. That's what you felt like you were, so that's what you did. So I appreciate that. I just have to become a fan again.
Oh, Cudi! I hope you made it this far.
Right.
If you did, thank you for watching. Man, this is a great album. I have been one of your harshest critiques in the past, and hopefully you're watching this video because I'm sure you haven't seen any of my prior apologies, but I've apologized for that. And I'm apologizing again. Hopefully you're watching this. But Cudi, you put out a great album. A great album. I think this felt like you. It felt personal. It felt also empowering. The production, Dr. Genius and team, epic, beautiful production. Man, and I apologize for forgetting to put this on my best of the year list because I'm old and that's just what happens, bro. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is a fucking amazing album. I love this shit. I listen to this all the time now, and I think this is a great addition to your catalog. This is the best work you've done in years, best rapping. Your singing voice sounded great. I don't know if you tweaked it or if you got maybe some vocal coaching. I'm not sure what happened there, but your voice sounded great. And yeah, this is an awesome project, man. And I'm singing The Void every day, bro. I'll be on the void, just to avoid anything that can bring me down and fuck with my flow.
Like this album.
Damn. Thank you, Cudi. This is dope, man. Ignore these haters, bro. Great album.